What is up, guys? This is Tcg Sam here, and in today's video I got a test hand video for the budget schismless shaddolls video that I posted few days ago, I think, if not like 2 days ago. But we're just gonna be shuffling up and doing some test hands. But in the meantime, I just want to ask you guys to please remember, if you haven't already, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and if you're not subscribed, just go to that comment section and gently, in a very civilized manner, click that subscribe button, because I would really appreciate it and it really helps me out. But with that being said, let's just finish shuffling up and we'll get straight into the first test hand. So the way I built this deck is I always wanted to draw at least one fusion spell, and because if you draw a fusion spell, you're able to play, and like pretty much if once you draw that fusion spell, you're pretty much theoretically set for the rest of the game if you're able to make a construct. Here our hand is pretty interesting. We actually open no shaddolls, and our only fusion spell is a super poly for our opponent's turn, so it's not great, honestly, but I'll still show what you guys can probably make do with a hand like this. In normal summon Mathman, dump Wendy. We don't need to fill our graveyard with Skomata dumping Wendy now because we don't play Schism, so we can save our resources a little more. Activating the Wendy, set the Skomata face down. You might be thinking, oh, Skomata's flip effect is pretty much not going to be relevant, and yeah, you're not going to be using it here for its flip effect. You're just going to be using it as a target for your super poly on your opponent's turn. So on our opponent's turn, it's very hard to say what attribute they might be playing, but let's just assume they're playing Window or something. They're playing Darks, so let's just assume they're playing Darks. We activate super poly, and if anything, we could also, if you want, we could super poly our own board to make a Shekinaga, but this does not sound very good. So I feel like this plays a little better. Although we could, if we had a card like SHADDOLL Schism, here we'd actually be able to do something with it. We could super poly the Mathman and the Skomata into a copy of Shek, activating, oh, of course, discarding the Trick Clown. Chainlink 1 Trick Clown, chainlink 1 Skomata, chainlink 2 Trick Clown. Skomata effect is going to be dumping, and remember, Skomata can dump like El Shaddolls Fusion or the SHADDOLL Schism. So if for some reason we had another Shaddolls, this actually wouldn't be too bad because we'd have a construct on our opponent's turn, but unfortunately we don't, so we're in kind of a weird spot. Pretending this is a SHADDOLL Schism, like we could have linked this away into a copy of our Gravity Controller and then grab back Schism, but that's just a theoretical example of what we could have done by doing Schism. I feel like I don't really need to show the play on our opponent, so we just super poly their monster away, sending the Skomata to the graveyard, and then from there you're just able to continue playing because you're able to start your Shaddolls engine. So that's gonna do it for test hand number 1. I know it wasn't super exciting, but I didn't cut the video or anything. Our opening hand was just kind of awkward, and that's unfortunately what's gonna happen with Shaddolls sometimes. It's just that you're gonna open those awkward hands where, well, I mean, I guess you just have no Shaddolls sometimes, but at least you were still able to play. Like, the point of the deck is you're able to play within the first 2 turns, whether that be on your turn or your opponent's turn. That was the way I made this deck. So let's shuffle up and we'll see what we do for our next test hand. We have Ogre Resh. Oh dear. And okay, Hedgehog. That saved it. That saved the hand, and our hand is very playable now because we can go El Shaddolls Fusion, sending away the Ogre and the Hedgehog into a copy of our construct. Chainlink 1 construct, Chainlink 2 Hedgehog. Here, Resh Shaddolls is going to be huge because that allows us to bring back construct on our opponent's turn, plus it allows us to bring back Ogre if we make a cross sheep. So that, just remember that cross sheep triggers off a special summon of a fusion monster, not a fusion summon specifically. So Hedgehog is going to be able to add us a copy of we can add a copy of Skomata to our hand. Construct here it's interesting. We can, if you wanted, we could have actually added construct and then dump like a Resh. Then we're not gonna add a Skomata. We're gonna add an Aerial instead. And this is just to show the most quote unquote combo you can do on the first turn with this kind of deck. You can set the Aerial and activate. Turn this into Gravity Controller before I forget. Effect, add back the El Shaddolls Fusion. and then banish these two, flip up aerial effect, bring back construct effect, and then from here we should be able to set up pretty nice stuff on our opponent's turn, because we can go something like Wendy effect, setting we didn't use Squamata yet, so we can set Squamata. And interesting enough, here is where we can actually make a pretty cool play with our proxy F Magician. So proxy F Magician states that you can just fusion summon one fusion monster using monsters from your field as fusion material. So right now we can actually make a window using its effect. We go proxy F Magician, fusing away those two into a window. The effect of our Squamata is going to activate, and then now from here it really depends on what you want to do. We already sent. I don't remember if we used SHADDOLL. I think I don't know if I just sent it there by accident, but anyways, from here we can set up a Falco, just like set a Falco so we make sure we don't really die. Or if we haven't used SHADDOLL yet, and I just don't remember how I got into the graveyard. I'm pretty sure I didn't use it, but anyways, either way, you can summon anything you want. In this case, by sending it off of Squamata. And then on our opponent's turn, we have an L plus a SHADDOLL. So what this means is, if they out our first window, once they out our first window, we're gonna activate SHADDOLL Incarnation. We can bring back the construct. Construct effect can, as y'all know, it's a disruption on our opponent's turn. We can send anything we want. So we can send our dragon, or we can send our aerial, depending on whatever disruption we need. So we can aerial our opponent for 3, and from here we can activate SHADDOLL fusion away the whatever we have set, and the construct. And then from here we can make app clone, a window, or another construct. That's what I just love about this. We can make any one of these 3 fusions. It's just super nice. Assuming we'll just make we'll just make an app clone, and then that's gonna trigger our SHADDOLL monster and our construct to add back either Resh or SHADDOLL fusion, and we still have the ogre in hand. So that just goes to show this deck can still definitely combo turn 1, and it actually isn't a terrible combo either. So as you can see, as long as we were able to make a construct, we're pretty much able to set all of this up to play out during our opponent's turn. So I think that is just a really nice part about SHADDOLLs. Having access to that single construct just allows you to set up your plays for the rest of the game pretty much. So now I'm going to be doing a test hand of a theoretical going second one. It's like like I always say in the videos, it's hard to determine what your opponent's going to have. So I'm just going to hypothetically assume that I'm just going to assume that maybe they don't have too much, because I feel like with this type of deck, it's definitely difficult to play through many interruptions, as SHADDOLL players are, I'm sure, can feel the pain of them just negating your single fusion spell, and then you're not able to play from there. But let's see what we open. Shuffling up, we start off with SHADDOLL fusion, SHADDOLL fusion, Mathman, Wendy, and a Hedgehog, so no hand traps unfortunately. We draw for turn. Oh, drawing the second SHADDOLL fusion is actually not bad, because if our opponent negates the activation of it, we just slam down another one and we pretty much win. So the thing with this hand is you definitely want to try to force out your opponent's interruptions. In a way, like, this plays through 2 interruptions on its own, because your opponent pretty much has to negate it. Like, if they don't negate it, they're pretty much losing the game. So, you know, we'll make it interesting. We'll just say we'll use double SHADDOLL fusion, our opponent just negated both, or something. So how can we play with just these 4 cards? It's actually pretty cool. We get a normal summon our Mathematician effect. You can dump the Clown here, and I guess it would be a little better if we had access to the Damage Juggler, because we'd have 1 more extra light material. But I feel like it's just a brick, the Damage Juggler. So we special summon back the Trick Clown, and from here we're gonna assume they have no more interruptions because they negated both their SHADDOLL fusions. But like, yeah, y'all know how the SHADDOLL fusion works. You just make a construct from deck and you just win. So I'm just not going to show that. Activating the SHADDOLL fusion, you can fuse away the Clown and the Wendy, and then you guys all love this combo. We can make our construct chainlink 1, Wendy chainlink 2. Wendy's going to summon out our aerial face down, affect us. Construct's going to send. We could send Squamata, but I feel like we might want Squamata later on in the turn, so I'm actually just gonna I'm actually just gonna send a Rational Incarnation. Here I'm gonna link off the 2 for our cross sheep, and then activating the effect of construct. You can okay, if your opponent negated the activation of Shaddol Fusion twice, then like, all right, you guys add it back, you activated it the 3rd time. It's pretty funny, but we're just gonna assume that they ashed it the 2nd time or something. So we're just gonna add back L, and then we're gonna activate Shaddol, banishing the construct and itself, flipping up the aerial effect, brings back the construct, chainlink 1, chainlink 2. We can bring back the I would think Trick Clown just in case we need another light, and then construct effect here. We already used an L and we already used our Shaddol Fusions hypothetically, so from here honestly we can just send whatever we want. We could send a dragon to pop the back row, we can send a beast to draw an extra card, send a Skomata to thin out our deck a little more. We can actually set up a play on our opponent's turn where we go, okay, so I'm gonna send Skomata and Core. Core effect's gonna add back one of the fusions because when it's sent to grave, you get to add it back. But the reason I drop Core is because it gives us flexibility on our opponent's turn once we link off the construct. So from here, we can actually make a copy of Proxy F Magician and continue to combo from here. So I actually think that's what I'm going to do, even though it's a little bit overextending. I feel like that's definitely a pretty cool play you can make. The problem I have here is you actually can't really, you can make a Boral Sword, but it may not be game with these 3. So if we just Boral Sword with these 3 and we summon back our clown, which is 1600, may or may not be game. Like, of course it could be game, but we're gonna assume it's not game. So we're gonna have to make some other plays. So what I mean by that is we can link away the cross sheep and the Trick Clown for a copy of our Proxy F Magician. Activating Proxy F Magician effect, we can fuse away the construct and the aerial. This is really good because I know in my deck profile I said it's very but like now that I think about it, it's actually pretty good. We can fuse away these 2 for anything we want really. We can go for App Clone, or we can go for another construct. We're just gonna assume we're going for another construct. Effect of Proxy chainlink 1, effect of construct chainlink 2, effect of this construct chainlink 3 targeting Core. Proxy effects, other effect is if a fusion monster summoned to a zone it points to, you guys can also summon a monster with 1000 or less attack from your hand. So that's pretty cool. We can summon a hedgehog for the extra link material if we really need it. But we're gonna add back Core, and then construct effect's gonna resolve here. I guess the only thing left to send is really either our Falco or our Beast, just to draw another card. So I think we can just go, or we can send like a Resh Shaddol. Actually, to be honest, I think sending a Resh is really good, just so we can play on our opponent's turn. And I also take back the hedgehog. I feel like we don't really need to commit the hedgehog to the board, but it's cool that we get the effect of Proxy F to have the opportunity to do that. From here, we can make a copy of our unicorn, sending away the Shaddol Fusion because we can always add it back later on. I just want to show you guys the setup you can do on your opponent's turn with these cards. Like, I know it wasn't an OTK, we probably aren't doing that much damage, but we were able to clear our opponent's 1 card from our opponent. If we went battle phase, we could have swung over something, cleared with construct, and then made Unicorn Chainlink 2, main phase 2. And then from here, this is where the fun happens, because now we have these 3 cards on to play on our opponent's turn. And the reason I did all those plays was to set something like this up. Like, yeah, you guys saw I could have Boral Sorted and we just assumed that would have been game, but we also could have set up these 3 cards on our opponent's turn. And now I'm going to show you guys like the power of our Shaddol, just our Shaddol engine itself. So on our opponent's turn, we can just start by activating, say we can start by activating Shaddol Incarnation, bringing back our construct, activating the effect of our construct. So now our first line of disruption is either going to be aerial or a dragon. Let's just assume it's aerial because aerial is super high impact. We're able to just clear all the stuff we need from our opponent's side of the field. Next, we can activate Shaddol Core here, and then from here we are also able to we're also able to activate our Shaddol fusion, so we can fuse away these two. I'm gonna keep the hedgehog in hand just to show you guys the versatility that core is able to offer. So assuming we had, like, this was a blank card or something, we could have actually done quite a bit with these two alone. So to begin with, we could have made any other Shaddol monster. We could have made Applin, we could have made Construct, we could have made a Winda. Assuming we're gonna make a Winda, that's gonna trigger the effect of our core and our construct. So that just adds back 2 resources back to our hand. So we could constantly loop the core with the construct, and the core adds back another fusion spell back to our hand every single turn. So we could have. I'm definitely gonna add back Shaddol fusion to force our opponent to kind of play around it. Otherwise, we're gonna be killing them next turn with the Shaddol fusion. And then this one, you could add back any one of these 3 Shaddol traps. Spell or traps with the construct. We're just gonna assume we're gonna add back L, and then once if the Winda dies, we're able to add back an additional copy of our Shaddol spell or trap. So, and then you can just do that all over again, pretty much. If we added back these cards or something. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys learned something new. Showcasing the power of Proxy F Magician and just power of budget Shaddolls. Really, you can't really expect too much out of just like something so cheap, but like surprisingly this deck offers a lot for its price point. You can see we don't even need Schism to play on our opponent's turn because we have set up like L Shaddol, Rest Shaddol, and Shaddol Core. Although I will say that Schism is very, very good. If you have the opportunity to get your hands on it, definitely do it. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, so I know that you guys like this content. And let me know in the comments what you want to see next. But with that being said, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.